Good, beautiful people, man. This is your guy, Tone DeShields the second, and I'm joined by the good brother, Philly Foothills, my man, my brother from another mother. And you guys are locked in on Birds of a Feather, the podcast. We haven't done one of these in, I want to say, over a month for sure.
Oh yeah,
To be exact, we haven't done one of these since
the
exactly
draft.
about a month ago, right prior to the draft, because we did a
Yeah,
mock draft about a week or two before the draft, right?
yes, sir. Yep,
Yeah,
you're about
man.
exactly right. Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Like I
Facts.
always say, you guys are the food and the water to the content. So make sure that if you like what you're hearing, if you're feeling the vibe, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Keep our dreams alive. We really appreciate you being here and getting and locked into to both of our channels because we are double live stream, like he said. So make sure you hit the thumbs up on both channels. We really, really appreciate it because it helps push that content further and further out there into the YouTube algorithm, into the YouTube verse, the tubiverse or whatever we want to call it.
The metaverse, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yo, it's so
Yeah,
funny. It's so funny because like this whole AR virtual reality era, like digital footprint wave, it's insane. Like people are able to commit crimes in the metaverse. It's wild.
it is. It really is. It's a crazy world we live in now. We're just we're just out here just trying to do our thing. But yeah, it's a very very interesting world we live in these days
Facts,
for
man.
sure.
Facts.
But yeah,
But
it's good to be back with you, Tone. Definitely for sure, man. And
yeah, man, definitely good to be back with you.
yes,
You're my guy, man, and definitely, we definitely can't allow these to be so far in between going forward. It's
absolutely not.
we're birds of a feather flock together, right? We're stronger together. You feel what I'm saying? So
One hundred
def-
percent. 100%.
definitely
Yep.
good to have definitely good to have you back. Definitely good to be back myself. So
Yeah.
let's get right into it because so much has happened since we last spoke, and so many roster moves have happened. The Eagles traded for AJ Brown during the draft, drafted N'Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Grant Calcaterra, Karan Johnson. Brought in James Bradbury.
Mm.
Uh, so many moves, so little time.
Hassan
But
Riddick. I mean, we've brought some pieces in. I mean, with we're gonna go back and talk about the draft a little bit. I mean, obviously Jordan Davis was a great pick. Yes, we had to give up quite a bit of assets to move up in front of Baltimore, who was going to take him if we didn't.
mhm.
So we had to make that move, and I think it's going to be a great move. But I think he's going to be even better than Fletcher Cox was. I think he's going to be more consistent. I think he's going to have a longer career, and I think he's going to have a more. His numbers are going to be better when it's all said and done at the end of his career compared to Fletcher Cox. So I think big things lie ahead for Jordan Davis. But I mean, man, I think that Kobe Dean might be. We might look back at this draft in a few years from now, and we might be like, "Wow, Kobe Dean was an steal, absolute steal in the for him to drop to the third round. You know, I think we might have finally got our linebacker that's going to stick and last for a long time coming. I'm excited, really excited about N'Kobe.
Yeah, man, it's such a good time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan because you look at this roster from top to bottom and you can't help but to be excited about what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. You can't help but to think the best outcome. You can't help but to look at the schedule and start getting your record predictions out the window. You really can't help it. And I'm not going to sit here and ever try to tell Eagles fans to calm down. But what I will say is we got to get on the grass first. We got to put we got to play first in order for everything to come together. But let's talk about
Yeah,
the offensive side of the ball because I think that's the sexiest conversation, and then we're going to get into the defense. I think that's the most vital conversation. So from the offense side of the ball, the thing that stands out is obviously AJ Brown. When the Eagles traded for AJ Brown, what was your instant reaction? I think Foothills froze a little bit. But, bringing in AJ Brown was such a huge addition for the Eagles because his presence alone is going to create so many mismatches, and it's also going to create so much space for other guys to get open. Think about the attention AJ Brown brings. AJ Brown is someone who will demand double coverage. AJ Brown is someone that's going to it's going to be able to be used in various ways on offense. And AJ Brown is going to open things wide open for uh Devontae Smith. He's going to open things up wide open for Quez Watkins. He's going to open things wide open for Miles Sanders and all those other guys and Dallas Goedert. This is a very big year for everybody, but because of the way this offense is constructed now, I think the Eagles should definitely make it a point to try to utilize the other weapons because AJ Brown is going to command so much attention. AJ Brown is one of those guys that he's going to make you have a safety and a corner on him. He's going to force you to bracket him, right? But Devontae Smith, his route running ability as being a technician, and then Quez Watkins, him being a burner, Dallas Goedert being a mismatch for most linebackers and most safeties. This is the best thing about it. Dallas Goedert is going to be guarded by linebackers and safeties for the most part, and he's stronger and more athletic than most of those guys. So just think about that. How can Dallas Goedert really benefit from this situation? That's going to be the greatest aspect of the whole AJ Brown addition. How much space, how many opportunities he creates. He's going to demand the attention of the best corner or the best defender, right? And then at that point, is barbecue chicken for Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is only going to have to deal with cornerback twos or cornerback threes, and Dallas Goedert is only going to have to worry about linebackers and safeties. You got Quez in that field. If Nick Sirianni is able to have formations and schemes that have all the four of those guys on the field, that's Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown. If we have situations like that, who do you key in on? Who do you focus on? And then it goes back to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has to be able to do his job, and that's going to be the key factor because Jalen Hurts is going to have to deliver the ball. And if Jalen Hurts can't deliver the ball, it puts this team in a very, very precarious situation, if you ask me. But Philly Foothills is in the process again, getting some things sorted out. He'll be back. He'll be back in the show very shortly. But I'll hold it down until he gets back. I'm really excited because Jalen Hurts has a lot of pressure on him, and sometimes people respond well to the pressure. He strikes me as someone who will respond well to the pressure, and a lot of people are doubting him. Even people who are hometown fans, they're doubting him. A lot of people, even mainstream media, they want to tread lightly with Jalen Hurts. Understandably so, though, because you still don't know how good he can be. You still don't know if he's taking his passing game to another level. And I can't really get mad at somebody for wanting to tread lightly. That's all I can say. I can't really get mad at it. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see how Jalen Hurts responds in key situations. Think about those situations like third and long, right? What will he do? You dig what I'm saying? It's going to be, it's going to really open up. It's going to really open up for a lot of people, and I think people are actually underestimating how good this team can actually be. I know a lot of Eagles fans are saying, "Hey, get the division. We got the division. We got to play." It's going to be competitive this year. At the end of the day, you got to go into these games and you have to understand the assignment. You can't go in thinking because you have these guys on your roster, all of a sudden things get easier. That's not how it works. Because you have this talent, guys are going to play you guys much tougher now. Guys are going to key in on you way more. But if Jalen Hurts can figure this thing out, really, you guys, really, really consider it. If Jalen Hurts can figure this thing out, it's going to get spooky for the league. Trust and believe if he figures this out, it's going to get spooky. I firmly believe he can figure it out, but will it be enough? Will he be consistent enough? That's that's going to be the key factor, you know. But Philly Foothills,
Sorry about that.
no, you're all good. You're all good. I need to know though the AJ Brown move. What's your thoughts on the AJ Brown addition? What do you think AJ Brown is going to bring to the table that that's going to help everybody involved?
Well, first, I mean, he's going to draw a lot of attention because I think him and Jalen are going to hit it off, from the gates because we know they've been working together. They're really good friends, and when you have a receiver who is not only really good friends with his quarterback but knows how he thinks, is pretty much inside his head. He knows how he's wired. He's it's it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be even more fun as to watch the offense as a whole because, like I said, he's going to draw a lot of attention, and it's going to open up a lot of things for man. Devontae Smith is going to have a big year too. I'm really excited to watch and see what the number two corners, because they're going to put the number one corner is going to be on AJ more than likely, unless they're really they're really set in their ways as far as the way they line up their guys on certain sides or whatnot. But man, Devontae Smith's going to have a lot of opportunities. Dallas Goedert's the middle of the field's going to open up. Quez Watkins in the slot is going to be fun to watch. To see some of the see him put some pressure on some of the safeties in the league. That's going to be really, really interesting. And Jalen, it's going to be about Jalen this year. Is he going to be able to fully step up into that spot? Into that quarterback that we want and need him to be. But I mean, man, AJ Brown. When I first heard about that, and I'm pretty sure that Vic 3 was the first one to break the news because he was getting really he had an inside tip from somebody, and he knew it way before it broke on any news or anything like that on the internet. So I was blown away, absolutely blown away, because we got a absolute stud of a receiver in the prime of his career, and we got him at a very, very good price. The contract is very well. It was very well done, and I just, as much as I've hated Howie in the past, he has blown me absolutely away. Especially with this past draft, this trade that he made with AJ Brown. We're not giving Howie enough credit. We need to start giving him more because he definitely deserves it. He's been earning his money, definitely has.
Right. You think about it from this perspective. Howie Roseman has, he's usually known as being the capologist, right? He's the guy who's normally known for maneuvering through contracts and negotiations and, being, that being his strong suit. But when you think about it from the way these past 2 years have really played out, he's really been killing it when it comes to his talent evaluations. Now, is he trusting? Is he beginning to trust his team more, his scouts more? Sure, but at the end of the day, he has to make the decision, and I feel like he's refrained from overthinking, and he's really beginning to just trust the board and start to really go where all the talent is, and that's in the SEC. So is it fair to say Howie Roseman is evolving as a GM in front of our eyes? Is it fair to say that the best is yet to come for Howie Roseman?
I mean, I think even if you know he could kind of plateau next year and not have a that good of a draft, but the talent evaluation is like you said, that's an interesting topic with him because he's had issues in the past. He's definitely seemed to improving on that, especially with the he blew me away with the with the Kenny Gainwell pick last year because Kenny Gainwell would have went a lot higher if not for COVID. So uh, and Gainwell he proved that he's ready for for the NFL. He had a pretty damn good rookie season last year. So picks like that. I was pissed off about when he selected Landon Dickerson, but man, look what that's turned out. I mean, now we have him as set as our left guard now going forward. The left side of our offensive line is absolutely scary, absolutely scary. We got freaking we got beef jerkies, beef jerky in the wings behind Kelsey once he goes now as well. Cam Jurgens was another great pick by the Eagles, and yeah, I think we are seeing him. I think we are seeing him evolve, and I think
Right.
we're seeing him to finally blossom into that. Maybe he was that rose, so to speak, that was struggling to open, but it was a healthy rose. You could see it. It was just struggling to open for a while. And it just needed that right mixture of, you know, surrounding, fertilization, environment, sunlight to finally open up and blossom. So, yeah, I think we are seeing something special with him. And so it's kind of surprising because I thought he had kind of already peaked. You know, I didn't think we were. This, he is. I mean, right? It's all like you said. It's all on paper right now. We got to see how this plays out on the field. I know we always get overhyped when it comes to our teams, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are saying that the Eagles are primed to not only win this division this year, but win a playoff game and maybe make some noise in these in these playoffs.
My thing is if they can figure it out, like I was saying before before you had clear some stuff up,
Yeah,
you know, if Jalen Hurts figures it out, it can get really scary for the NFL.
yeah. That's it. That's the thing. Is he gonna figure it out? And the more I watch him work, the more I see how much effort he's putting in. I mean, he's either gonna really succeed, or he's really gonna fail. And I think he's more likely to really succeed myself.
Absolutely.
But especially with the now that you've given him his you've given him two wide receivers that he is very comfortable with. I'm sure he's getting more and more comfortable with Quez as well. And like I said earlier, it's going to be fun to watch Quez in the slot because boy, he's going to be able to put pressure up the middle on the safeties. If they run him on a deep slant or even a go route from the slot position. I mean, you talk about putting pressure on the middle of the field with that speed. Oh yeah, let's go. Get him in the open field. Let him use that. Let him use that speed burst because he's got it. We got to harness it and let him expose it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like this team is really poised to really give opposing defenses fits. This isn't just a player here, a player like these like the AJ Brown trade. He fits perfectly into what we're trying to do. All three of our top three wide receivers are very unique in their own right. You have AJ Brown, the big body, physical wide receiver who has a catch radius like Stretcher Armstrong that can catch any 50-50 ball, hands like glue, very physical, very imposing. Still has speed that can burn you over the top. It still has speed to burn you over the top if you're slipping. You know what I'm saying? Just a very good wide receiver who's proven it time and time again. Then
Yeah,
you got Devontae Smith, a technical assassin, a guy whose footwork is on a million, a guy who has an ability to really dominate on the sideline, a
yeah,
guy who's a route running technician, hands like glue,
right.
fearless,
Knows
able to
every branch on the route tree.
exactly able to run damn near any route, like you said. And then you
Yep.
have Quez Watkins, the burner, the guy that can take the top off of the defense. Then you got Zach Pascal, your utility guy. You're not going to expect him to do big things, but the best believe he's going to get mixed and matched in there. And he's going to have easy matchups. You can't forget Dallas Goddard. Dallas
Don't
Goddard is
forget.
probably honestly, I think Dallas Goddard might be the largest beneficiary of this wide receiver core because those wide receivers are going to command so much attention on the boundary, the seam, the middle of the field is going to be wide open. Now teams can't congest the middle of the field, or they can't stack the box. They can try. If you
Right.
do, okay. Now this is where Jalen Hurts has to beat the corner, has to beat the
Yeah.
safety. You know what I'm saying? This is where Jalen Hurts has to make the decision and trust his receivers. You know what I mean? So this can't be one of those situations where Hurts is tentative. He has to be aggressive, take chances, and look, at this point, the best quarterbacks throw 13, 14, 15 interceptions a year because it's a passing league now. And that's just what it is. You're going to throw that many interceptions if you're throwing the ball a lot. It's just a reality. Matthew Stafford, I think, threw like 17 or 15 picks, whatever. But like
Yeah.
my point is, don't worry too much about the interception. If you see it, let it rip. Let your receiver do the work. You dig what
Right.
I'm saying?
And don't let and real quick, shout out to Vic 3 in the chat. What's good, family? Appreciate you sliding through, Vic. Shout out to you. That's one of my co-hosts of the East Meets West, and we will be live tomorrow night at. Let's see, tomorrow we're going to be at 10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, check us out on my channel, Vic 3's channel, and AK Eagles podcast as well. So yes, check us out. Shout out to him. Thank you for checking us out, Vic. We appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I just don't want back to talking about Jalen Hurts. I just don't want him to. Don't let defenses bait you into leaving the pocket too early and taking it. Take it when you want to. Maybe when you need to, and you need to get that first down or what have you. But don't. I want him to trust his line, stay in the pocket, go through your progressions, and get the ball down the field. And like you said, take some chances because like you said, even the elite quarterbacks throw some interceptions. So you don't have to be perfect. We just need you to be good enough to get us the W each Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a fun season because our schedule is looking pretty favorable, if you ask me.
That's the perfect word to put it, favorable, because I know some people are saying, "Oh, we have an easy schedule." No, no, no,
No,
no football game is easy. It's
right,
favorable.
right.
It's a very favorable schedule because it allows this team to really have those early tune-up games, those
Mm-hmm.
tune-up matches, and then it prepares them for, the earlier matchups allow them to get the kinks out of, get the kinks out of the chain. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Allows them to really,
Absolutely.
let it rip because
Yeah.
it's not just
Smooth out
pressure on.
iron out the wrinkles, in the
Right.
shirt. You know what I mean? You gotta get it all nice and pretty looking. But yeah, I mean, there's people that are saying, that we could be 4-0 going into the Arizona game, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's
Let's
possible.
take it. It is possible, but let's take it 1 week at a time. We don't know. Yes, we're going to be more than likely we're going to be in the playoff race this year. We're going to be in the division race, definitely with the with the Cowboys, unless one of the other two bottom feeders and the Commanders or the Giants come out of the basement. But I don't see that happening. But I mean, there's just there there's too much variance in the NFL. We don't know how a lot of these new pieces on these teams are gonna fit. Some of these teams that we think might not be that good, they may be better than we thought. So let's just take it 1 week at a time. Let's not put the cart before the horse, and let's just get after it and get one win, stack one win on top of the other, and go from there.
Right. But you also have to consider the offensive line. The offensive line is the bread and butter of this team. The offensive line is going to really allow us to do whatever we want. And I know a lot of people want to put all the pressure on Hurts, and that's the easy conversation to have. But Nick Sirianni has a big job as well. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to scheme these guys open. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It's like there's no reason why there should be training wheels on his playbook entering the 2022 season. There's going to
Absolutely.
be like there's no excuse for anybody involved, and I fully expect Nick Sirianni to throw the whole playbook at Jalen Hurts early. I'm pretty sure and going against Detroit, Nick Sirianni is going to say, "Listen, we slinging it today." We're slinging it. We're gonna have a balanced offensive attack. We're gonna balance it out, but we throwing that ball 30 times.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a strong possibility of that. But yeah, even on top of that, Miles Sanders is got he's going to have no excuse not to have a way better year than he had last year. I mean, no touchdowns from Miles. I mean, we got to be. I mean, I'm pretty much at my wits end with him, and if he doesn't vastly improve this year, I'm done. I don't think they should extend his contract or anything like that going forward. So Miles is gonna have a big year this year.
He better. He's in a very unique. He's in a very interesting situation because if he does too well, they're not going to resign him. If he doesn't do well enough, he's expendable. So
That's true.
so
It's very true.
depending on how
I never thought about it like that.
depending on how well his season goes, or depending on where he is, Howie Roseman loves to pay guys early. And I don't know if he's going to treat the running back position in the same breath. He paid Jordan Mailata early. He paid Dallas Goedert early. He paid Josh Sweat early. He paid Avonte Maddox early. But
I mean, it doesn't really. I don't know if he really needs to that badly with the wide receiving core that we're going to have, and with the dominant offensive line that we're going to have going forward. There's not. I don't know if there's a huge reason to invest a lot of money in the running back position. You have, like I said, you have Kenny Gainwell. We've brought Boston Scott back again, so we have the
Kennedy Brooks too.
What's that?
The kid Kennedy Brooks. They brought him in as well.
Yeah.
Running back.
Yes. So yeah, exactly. So we got some horses in the stable. So I don't know. It's like you said, Miles is definitely in a very kind of a tricky situation this coming season, because if he has too good of a year, like you said, they won't be able to afford him and then they're not going to want to pay him either way. So, and if he has, a crappy year, then it's out the door. You go definitely. So I don't know. We're going to have to see. He's he's definitely going to have his opportunities though, because this offense, like the chat said earlier, AJ Brown is going to open up this offense tremendously. You guys are going to see it. I think everybody was clamoring for DK Metcalf. Yeah, DK would have been a great trade too, but I think DK would have cost a lot more. And I think DK would have commanded a bigger contract than we gave AJ Brown, as far as an extension. So I think AJ
Brown. I actually think AJ Brown he's a more complete receiver. He has a greater command of the route tree over DK Metcalf, in my opinion.
And he's just as strong. I mean, you see AJ Brown, he breaks tackles left and right. I mean, he runs guys over. He's not a small guy. Like you said, he was the perfect piece for us, because he was that bigger physical receiver that has like you said, a tremendous catch radius. He's like Spider-Man when it comes to catching the football. So it's I'm sure at least I hope Nick Sirianni and Coach Steichen are chomping at the bit to see what they can do with this new piece, with Jalen, with Devontae Smith, with all these guys, with Goddard. Like you said, it's gonna be on them too to make sure that they're utilizing these guys and getting them in the right spot, running the right plays in certain situations, things like that. So, there's going to be a lot of pressure on this coaching staff too this year.
Definitely, man. And not just Nick Sirianni, right? Not just Shane Steichen, but you got to think about Jonathan Gannon as well. Jonathan Gannon is a guy that, entering last season, he was supposed to be this golden boy when it comes to defensive play calling, and he's supposed to be one of the hot shot up and coming potential head coaches, right?
Right.
But I didn't really get that feeling watching him call games last year. His decision making was highly questionable. I feel like he didn't trust his team well enough to put them in positions that maybe were a little bit more risky. But listen, these guys are pro athletes; they got to play ball. I didn't believe that he really trusted them enough to put them in the best position to succeed, like putting the corners closer to the line of scrimmage, or trusting his linebackers to do various tasks. But we all know the linebackers weren't really good at coverage. The best coverage linebacker we had last year was T.J. Edwards, and he's not even considered a top tier coverage linebacker. That's still considered a weakness in his game. So
Right.
what does that really say about the linebacker core? But now Jonathan Gannon, he has no excuses in terms of what he needed. Remember last year, all he kept saying was, "I don't have what I need to do what I want to do." The scheme doesn't really fit the roster right now, and Harry Roseman immediately went out and got everything he needed. Got him a bunch of guys that are versatile. Brought him a bunch of linebackers, young and with some experience. And the theme of this defense, if you ask me, is versatility, versatility, versatility. Everyone is multiple. So, what's your thoughts on the overall pressure that's on Jonathan Gannon right now?
Oh, I think with the pieces that we have in place, with Brandon Grant coming back, with the draft, with the trades, the free agency acquisitions that we've made, I don't think there is not a lick of there's not any room for error this year with Jonathan Gannon. He has no excuses not to have a top tier defense. We should be a top 5 if we stay healthy. We should have a top 5 defense. I mean, we have a good enough defensive line. We have so much depth now at defensive line. They're talking about possibly running a 5-2 sometimes. A 5-2. Come on. That just says that we have so much talent on the defensive line that we don't want them sitting on the sideline for a majority of the game. We want them on the field. And it also says they really believe in the linebacking position now that we have in-house. So, especially like I said earlier with the addition of Kobe Dean, I think we're going to look back in a few years and we're going to be like, wow, what a steal in the draft. Absolutely. And we're going to be blown away that we got him in the 3rd freaking round, because I think he's going to be a dominant force going forward. It's going to be really, really intricate to see. I'm going to watch really closely when him and Jordan Davis are on the field and how they kind of communicate, because they obviously played together at Georgia and they played together at a very, very high level together at Georgia. So I think that's only going to continue. I think Gannon will probably incorporate some plays that they probably ran last year. I wouldn't doubt if they did something like that, maybe a kind of a hybrid of a play or something like that. But I mean, with the addition of Bradbury to fill in that at the CB2, which I wasn't really too worried about. I mean, with Tate Gowan and with Zach McPherson back there, I think we have a lot of depth. I think we're going to be we're good to go. But man, do you think we really? I mean, I have to ask you, the chat as well. We have the best 3-piece now in the NFL. I mean, with big play, right? With Bradbury and with Avonte Maddox now, with one of the best slot corners in the league. I mean,
good question.
Ooh, try to find me a better corner trio.
That's a very good question, huh? Do we have the best 3-piece?
On paper, obviously. We don't know how it's going to all work together. We haven't seen Bradbury in it work with on the other side of Slay, but I mean, I think he's going to do well. He's done well against number 1 receivers in the NFL. So at times he's going to be going against number 2 receivers, things like that. So I think he's going to be fine on the other side. I think he's going to do very well. A lot better than Nelson did on the other side of last year, that's for sure.
Right, and James Bradbury is clearly an upgrade, right? Andrew Hernandez says we have a top 3 trio easy.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I can go with that.
And I can get with that as well, because Avonte Maddox separated himself as being one of the top tier slot corners in the NFL last year. I think he was ranked top 10 in all categories from an analytical perspective at the slot position.
That's where you saw Jonathan Gannon's expertise, his experience as a defensive back coach come into play, because he saw Avonte Maddox. He saw that he was skilled, but he was struggling on the outside. So he said, you know what, kid? Let's go ahead and move you onto the inside and see what you can do.
But
And
that's
look,
his natural position. I think we all were screaming for for Doug Peterson to put that kid in the slot.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. The thing about it was that Jim Schwartz would just he did not, like you said, they did not utilize him. They did not put him in the right position, and they definitely they made him look bad because he definitely he struggles on the outside. But
Because
if
he's
you want to
not
be honest,
big. Like it's not even a technique issue with him. He's not big enough, strong enough to go against some of these top tier wide receivers. He's just not.
yeah, he's not. But to chime in on Ivan's comment here, I'm sneaky excited about Marcus Epps, man. Did you see the numbers that Philly? Shout out to Philly Mike. He dropped some numbers. Man, I wish I had my Twitter up right now. I would he shot out some numbers. I don't know how big. I don't think the sample size obviously was huge with Epps, but his numbers were very good last year when given the chance. And I like him. I like the kid. He's a ball hawk. He likes to. He loves to hit. You know, he likes to come up and blow people up from that safety position. So I think we're going to be fine with him and Harris on the back end. I really do. I think I actually think Harris could be more of a liability than Epps if you
That's
really
what
ask.
everyone keeps saying. To
Yeah,
your point about what Philly Mike said from the Philly Talk podcast. Shout out to Mike from the
yeah,
Philly Talk podcast, my guy. He says
absolutely.
he says Marcus Epps in coverage last 2 seasons when given the opportunity, 44 targets, 3 interceptions, 1 passing touchdown allowed, a 56.3% passer rating when targeting him. Well,
That's
he probably meant completion percentage, but regardless, quarterbacks had a tough time when targeting him on 44 targets, and he was graded out as being the best safety on our team last year per Pro Football Focus.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's not a huge sample size, but I like what I'm seeing. I liked what I saw from him last year. He just seemed when he was on the field, he's either making the tackle or he's getting an assist on a tackle more times than not. I mean, when you see guys like that, when they're constantly around the ball, when you like your safeties to be that kind of guy because that's gonna more than likely that's gonna lead to turnovers in our favor. So yeah, the I'm not worried about at all about Marcus Epps. I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be just fine. And that if we decide to run with him as our starter, which I
Yeah,
think we should,
man.
by the way, I do not. I want to go on record and say I do not think that the Eagles need or should trade for a safety right now. I think we're fine. I think we're good. Let's run with it.
Yeah, I think Howie realizes that too. I think Howie's actually going to stand pat right now. I don't anticipate any further moves from Howie, if I'm being honest. And I actually like it. He got his work done early prior to
Yeah.
OTAs, and now all these guys get the full off season. They get the full you know they get the full program.
Yes.
all different phases of the program of OTAs, and OTAs actually started today. And I'm pretty and for the first time in a long time, we're actually entering a year where there's little to no position battles, and I mean this in a good way because sometimes position battles are good, but sometimes position battles can kind of be redundant because you don't know who's going to be the guy in the end, and at the end of the day, can they really be trusted anyway? I think we have guys on this roster that we can trust without a shadow of a doubt, and that's why there aren't any position battles. Like, really think about it. If there was going to be a position battle, the only position battle you probably would have found was at that corner position before Bradbury came in. Now that
Correct.
Bradbury's here, he completely eliminates any confusion. It's going to be Darius Slay, Bradbury, and Devontae Maddox out there. Maybe competition at safety, but I think it's going to end up being Anthony Harris because of his experience, and it's going to be Marcus Epps because of his experience and just the
It's skill
disparity in
set.
talent between
Yep.
him and Kevon Wallace.
Yeah.
And like I said with Jonathan Gannon, he has all the pieces he needs to be successful. There's absolutely no excuses for this man, and this is really interesting because I kept telling people, I said, look, all I want to do is enter the season, and I don't want to have to look Howie Roseman's direction. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like we're able to enter a season without a shadow of a doubt, we don't have to say Howie Roseman's name not one time this season.
Right? Isn't it? And that's going to be such a great feeling to have. It really,
Especially for
really
him,
is.
right? Especially for him.
Oh yeah, for everybody, especially for him, like you said, because that's going to be a big weight off of his shoulders. You know, a big relief for the fan base and for everybody. You know that bleeds green like we do. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. But the good thing is, we have that depth, right? We have depth at the cornerback position. We have depth at linebacker, if we're being honest. We have depth on the defensive line. Maybe we need a little bit more. Maybe we need a little bit more depth on the edge. But I say we have pretty good depth all around the board. We have great depth on the offensive line. I feel like we have great depth in all the key areas, the trenches especially. And I think that's why Andre Dillard hasn't been moved yet because Howard Roseman knows it's a 17-game season. Anything can happen. I can throw Andre Dillard in at left tackle. If worst case scenario, I can move Jordan Mailata to right tackle, and I can move some things around. I don't think Howard Roseman is gung ho on moving on from Andre Dillard. No matter, even though people were saying, "Oh, trade for Jesse Bates or whoever they want." I don't think
Yeah.
Howard Roseman is as gung ho on trading Andre Dillard because he understands that it's a long season, and even though this kid was a first round pick, he still has something to bring to the table. And yeah, sure, maybe he didn't pan out in terms of being that bona fide starter, um, but when he has started, like for example, I think it was a moment where Jordan Mailata was hurt for a little bit, like he missed like a game or something like that, a game or two. Andre Dillard was in and he did a pretty good job. And Andre Dillard supposedly took his game to another level this year. He's took his conditioning to another level.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That's the thing that Howie has a hard time, and I think he still kind of he struggles with this as far as not wanting to admit that he made a mistake as far as drafting, especially when it comes to first round picks. You see it with Andre Dillard, and yes, I'm sure you're partly correct that he is thinking about depth. He is thinking about the what ifs that could happen and things like that. You know, if you may need to move people around if there's an injury or things or certain things. We know there's going to guys are going to get hurt, especially on the offensive line. I mean, it happens. It always does. It's just a matter of when and where. But you also seen it with Jalen Rieger. You know, Howie Roseman just doesn't like to admit that he's made mistakes with first round picks. But now that we've added AJ Brown, you could possibly maybe if someone comes to call in for Jalen Rieger, maybe we now that because we do have a pretty good depth at wide receiver, maybe we do move on from him. But I don't really see that happening, especially as how much he has struggled. There's nobody that's going to give Howie Roseman anything that he's going to be interested in as far as trade assets and things like that. So it's when it comes to Howie, that's one thing he has to work on. But that's if that's one thing that's the only one thing that he has to work on really that's a flaw, then that's for us that's a very very good thing going forward because we've had way bigger issues with him in the past that he has definitely worked out, and like you said he is he is blossoming before our eyes. He really is because he has had two great off seasons in a row, and like you said, he got the work done this year early. That I think we're pretty set on both sides of the ball, and he was able to keep it all into the cap and things like that. So he's he's worked his magic once again, and I know as much as myself, like I said earlier, and the fan base has really disliked this guy in the past and really disagreed with a lot of the moves he's made. He is definitely improving, and it's like I said, it's kind of surprising, but it's a really good thing for him because he's I think his future is still very bright because he's still a fairly young guy. So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for us going forward. Definitely, I I think we're finally getting some stability. And you know why I think it's finally kind of working its way out is because Jeffrey Lurie has stepped out and let Howie do his thing, and that way Howie doesn't have him looking over his shoulder. And I think that's helped Howie tremendously.
Absolutely. I want to get your thoughts on the potential position battle for TJ Edwards and Nakobe Dean. That's something that I know a lot of people are going to be paying close attention to. And we know Nakobe Dean is clearly the greater talent with the greater upside. And he pretty much comes into the NFL pretty ready made. You know what I mean? But TJ Edwards is someone who's earned his keep. He's continuing to improve every single year. He is definitely a reliable linebacker. He reads blocking lanes beautifully. He understands angles, understands blocking concepts, and knows how to get in between the gaps and stop running backs from going off. Still can improve as I guess you'll call pass defender or defending the pass. But Nakobe Dean, someone who's supremely talented, a first round talent without a shadow of a doubt. But again, TJ Edwards, someone who knows the scheme, who's been reliable. How does that look? What's your thoughts on the potential competition there? And honestly, who comes off the field if either one of them has to come off the field? Because remember, this team is versatile. They're multiple. You might see situations where you see TJ Edwards on the field, Nakobe Dean, Kaiser White, Hassan Reddick on the lineup on the edge. So,
right.
I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on the Nakobe Dean, TJ Edwards competition, if there is one.
Oh, I think there's definitely going to be one, because we're going to be, I think for the most part, we're going to be running a 4-3. So they're going to be battling it out for that middle linebacker position more than likely. And I think Nakobe Dean, I'd say let him battle it out in camp. Best man wins. But I think Nakobe Dean would probably win, just for the mere fact of I think he's probably a little bit quicker.
He is.
Than TJ, and that's a big asset to have at the middle linebacker position, and he's just as strong, if not stronger. So, so I think if we were in a base 4-3, I think it would be Nakobe in the middle. But like you said, don't be surprised if we, at times we're running a 3-4 and they're both in the middle. They're both in the middle and next to each other. You got TJ and Nakobe in the middle, and then you got Kaiser and Reddick on the outside as our 4 linebackers. So, it's
what I would like to see in that 3-4 that you mentioned. I would much rather have TJ Edwards and Kaiser next to each other and have Hassan Reddick and Nakobe on the edges. Because Nakobe Dean is a pretty good pass rusher. It doesn't get talked about that much. He's a very good pass rusher. He knows how to get skinny. And his pass rushing ability was something that wasn't really discussed when he was in college. More so his ability to be a field general was something that was more so discussed, and his ability to make sure guys know where they need to be. His leadership, his explosiveness on the ball, and his pass coverage skills. It's going to be amazing to really see that combination of Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis, because if whoever says, "Oh, well, Jordan Davis only was this good because Nakobe Dean was right there," well, we got him. If people say, "Well, if Nakobe Dean was only good because of Jordan Davis," it's like, "Well, we got him too." So what do you want to do? Like this is going to be this is going to be amazing. We brought in championship pedigree 2 years in a row. We brought in 2 champions with Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson from Alabama. Brought in 2 champions from Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean on the defense side of the ball.
We're bringing a lot of pedigree. Our pedigree's good.
We're building a culture here. Guys that know how to win, that know what it takes to win. Guys that care about winning, and that matters a lot.
Right, and like I said earlier, we know that that Nakobe and Jordan Davis played together at Georgia, so they're going to have. Jordan Davis will probably just be able to look at him a certain way, and Nakobe's going to know which way he's going to rush. Is he going to rush hard to the left, or is he going to rush hard to the right? And which opposite way he goes, that's the way Nakobe would go on a blitz, right? Because there's going to be a gap right there. There's more than likely Jordan Davis is going to demand a double team. That guy there's not a whole lot of offensive linemen out there in the middle that are going to be able to stop him one-on-one.
Someone's going to get free. Someone's
Yeah,
coming in free. And the good thing
exactly.
is there's a lot of speed. So now we have a better chance at getting to the quarterback, right?
Yes, and you said it just a few seconds ago. Versatility. We are very very versatile now. We went from having no like absolutely hardly any talent on the at the linebacker position to having a good amount of depth and and a legit core now. So it's going to be fun to watch this defense, and it's going to be it's going to be a long season, obviously, like it always is. Like it was last year, 17 games. That's that's a long time, and these guys are going to battle through it together. But it's you know it's really going to I'll be watching too, and seeing if they really do run a 5-2, because if they did that's going to be very very interesting to watch, and to see how they pull that off.
Absolutely, man. I want to get to 803 Hitman's question. He says, "Name an Eagle from last year that won't make the cut other than J Jaw."
Ooh.
It's funny because J Jaw moved to tight end, right? And even that position is kind of loaded because they drafted Grant Calcaterra. We still got Richard Rodgers right there. Still got
Right.
Tyree Jackson, who's coming off of ACL,
Jack Stoll.
so he's not going to be available. You still got Jack Stoll, and then
Yeah.
now JJ Whiteside wants to be a tight end. He's screwed. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. But what's your thoughts on that question? Who do you think doesn't make the cut?
That was on the roster last year. Ooh, that's a good one. That could be one of two people. I think it could be, because we're talking the practice squad too, right? So I think
Yeah.
that could be John Hightower
Ooh, I was thinking about
and
him.
or Jacoby Stevens.
Really?
Because Jacoby, remember they moved him to linebacker. Linebacker he's going to be fighting for a roster spot with the depth that we have. I mean, yeah, he might make the practice squad again, but I think maybe more John Hightower. And actually, I think it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, John Hightower. But
Happy birthday, John
right,
Hightower, man. That is hilarious.
but I think he might get cut, buddy. Sorry.
That is priceless, yo. Oh my god. If I had to pick someone, man, if I'm being honest,
It's tough.
it
I know.
might Reed Sinet, the quarterback. Reed Sinet, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Him.
You.
Because remember they brought in Carson Strong.
Right. And
So
obviously,
Reed,
we still have
right,
Gardner.
right. So I think Reed Sinet and yeah, man, John Hightower, like he hasn't been key. He hasn't been locked in on the game lately, and it's unfortunate. But
No, and I've heard from some people who have inside knowledge, to the team and things like that, that he's just, and I think this was documented before, like it was like around this time last year, I think, that he's just not fully committed to the NFL. He's just not. He doesn't. It's not a true passion of his. He's just in the. He plays football because he's pretty good at it, and he can, make a pretty decent living. I guess. It's just not. But I guess it's not a true full passion of his. So, and that's a big thing, that's a big issue to have when you're in the NFL, because it takes 100% commitment. No, no doubt. Full go 365. It's you're all in or nothing, or you're going to be all
exactly,
out.
exactly, and the off season, leading up to the season, the practices. But those are, everyone loves to play on Sunday, right? But no one loves to, commit to the grind leading up to Sunday.
Right. Yeah, it's all about you. You got to you got to put in that work, man. You see that's how the greats get it done. That's how Jerry Rice got it done. That's how Jordan got it done. You got to not only you got to put in the work yourself, but you got to push the ones around you to be great as well. You got to
Absolutely.
you got to want and expect greatness, not only out of yourself, but out of all your teammates around you, and you got to push them to do so.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, Rieger
Uh,
does it. No.
Rager is that's a very interesting situation. If I'm being honest, I think he'll be on the roster by the time the season starts. I don't see Howard Roseman cutting ties with him unless he gets a deal he can't refuse. Other than that, he's going to be on the roster, and he's going to try to find. They're going to try to find unique ways to probably throw him in and mix him in there. But this wide receiver room is set, and the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall for him, you know. And if we're going to be able to compete on a high level, we need guys that can, catch the ball and get the job done. Just to put it plainly, especially if we're trying to win this division. The
Yeah.
NFC East, the NFC East right now, and this could be our final topic. The NFC East is wide open to me for two teams, of course. uh, but the NFC East, we it's all in front of us. Everything is in front of us at this point. What's your thoughts on the Eagles competing for the NFC East crown?
Yeah, like you said, barring a surprise uprising from the Commanders, that's still a weird name to say, from Washington. I'll just say, and they're redheaded stepchild of a quarterback. I just him, Danny Pesos of the New York Football Midgets. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't think they're going to be very good this year, either one of them. So I think like you said, I think it's going to be pretty much a 2-team battle. But you never know. You never know in the NFL. There is a lot of variance. There is a lot of parity for the most part. But I mean, talent wise, what we see on paper right now, it's going to be a battle between us and Dallas. Coming down to it, more than likely, we're going to have. I think we're going to have an above average chance of winning this division this year, especially with the schedules that we have compared to who the Cowboys are playing. Yeah, I like our chances. I do, and I think there's a good chance that we could, even possibly host a playoff game this year. I really do. I think we're going to have a good chance of winning, 11 to 13 games this year. I really do. We're going to be right in that range.
For sure, for sure, it's definitely going to be competitive without a shadow of a doubt. If I'm being realistic, I think we're going to end up splitting with the Cowboys. It's just a matter of which game we win and which game we lose. Um, that's just my honest takeaway. I think it'd be. I mean, it's wishful thinking to sweep them, right? Everything will have to go perfectly, but I think realistically, you know, we'll split because the teams are just so evenly matched on paper. But still, it's going to come down to that quarterback play, man. And quarterback play dictates the way this league goes. And if Jalen Hurts can be better than Dak Prescott for two Sundays, that can really shift, the conversation in the NFC East.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's going to be a matter of how Dak and the Cowboys kind of adjust away from not having Amari Cooper.
I think they're honestly under. I'll be honest with you. They're. If you ask me, they're nervous. They continue to act like Amari Cooper meant nothing
Right,
to them.
right.
I'm listening to everything. I'm listening to all these
You know what?
Cowboys fans talk, and
Yeah,
like they keep saying, oh yeah, he wasn't doing nothing for us anyway, or he was a liability, or listen, Amari Cooper allowed you guys to do a lot of things. Now, can CeeDee Lamb be that guy? And on top of that, Michael Gallup might not be available until October or November because he's coming off that ACL tear.
right.
Can CeeDee Lamb be the end all be all? We'll find out.
Yeah, and you know what? You're exactly right about that. They're nervous. You know why else they're nervous? Is because they overpaid Ezekiel Elliott, and he's not producing at the level that they need him to produce at. And let's not mention they're nervous because each year that goes by is another year on that calendar that life clock that they haven't won diddly squat. So let's keep it going in that direction for us, as opposed to being, what are they now? What, 26 years? 26 some odd years since they last won I think that's what it is, since they last won an NFL championship. So
Yes, something
yeah,
like that. Yeah, damn near 30 years. Damn near a
yeah,
damn near a whole adult away. Like,
right.
you
It's
know,
an adult that needs to move out of the house. Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. That's
for
what it
sure,
is.
man. For sure. But my man, this has been a great live stream. as usual. And when we always get together, it's always pretty fun to discuss the game, man. Like we both have very unique perspectives when it comes to this thing, and overall, we definitely got to link up again next week. Um, if possible, let's try to we'll discuss it all offline. But
Yeah,
my man, like this is a great time. This is a great time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan, bro. And the world is our oyster. Everything is in front of us.
it's
So
an exciting time. It is.
yeah. So what's your final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just that it's gonna be a long 3 months, man, between now and the end of August when we're getting real close to the week one. But it's gonna go by. It's gonna seem long, but it's gonna go by fast. If that makes any sense. But yeah, the guys just all you Cowboy fans are funny because we ain't scared of nothing. We really aren't. We've we keep us as Eagles fans, we keep hearing you guys say that you dominate this division, but yet you haven't won it in back-to-back years. In how long? So come on now, let's be real. Let's keep it fuego, as I like to say. And yes, like Tone said, it's been another great Birds of the Feather the podcast with my guy here, Tone DeShields II. It's always great working with my guy here. Really, really respect and appreciate doing this thing with you. And yeah, you guys, we're gonna be doing another one again soon. We'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, you guys just stay safe, be well out there, and as always, fly Eagles fly, keep it fuego, baby.
Yes, sir. And as you guys already know, I am your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I was joined by my brother, Philly Foothills from the Nest Out West. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the content. We out of here, y'all. Fly Eagles fly. You heard?